Recently, we had a small informal Vyasa Puja with the devotees here at Govardhan Eco Village. So Gauranga Darshan Prabhu was sharing one very wonderful pastime of Guru Maharaj, where once he was on the Yamuna here at Govardhan Eco Village, and Guru Maharaj said to Gauranga Darshan Prabhu, "Did you like this place?" Then Gauranga Darshan Prabhu said, "Maharaj, this is very wonderful." Then Maharaj said, "This is my office." And then immediately Maharaj said that actually this is not my office, this is Vrunde Devi's office, and I am her clerk. So this is how the mood of Guru Maharaj is, that he in the mood of servant. And Brachan Prabhu, you can say some pastime about Guru Maharaj's favorite place there. Guru Maharaj would say, "This is my office and this is my chanting place." Can you tell us about that, Prabhuji?
Yeah, that place which I don't know if you have the picture. This is at where the origin of Yamuna Devi, a small little temple of Yamuna Devi is there. One is across the Keshi Ghat, and there is another beautiful picture of Sri Yamuna Devi is there, where the Yamuna river begins in Govardhani village. So there are three rocks there. So that's where he would say, "This is my office," because he would many times take the guests and devotees and sit there and speak to them. And many times he would honor prasadam also there at that place only. So that's what he would do there. Yes, this is the place, and that's where. So there are 2, 3 rocks on the
Are you able
sides
to
where
see
he
the
would sit.
photo?
Yes, we are able to see it. Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah, this is Gurudev's office in Govardhan Eco Village. And that's where he usually would sit in the mornings and meet with devotees, his god brothers, and other devotees whom he would give tea. And he would take his prasad on that rock many a times. In GV, of course, that's one thing is, as we have seen over the years, Gurudev's life has been a life for others only, is dedicated for his whole life is basically revolving around serving. That's his meditation every moment, even though externally also we can see that he does not waste even a moment and where he is not serving. And that's all his thought process all the time, which even materially also somebody can perceive with a material vision. What we can't, we don't know what's in the consciousness or what is in the heart. But even materially also speaking, we will see him always absorbed in some service or the other, meditating or thinking or doing something on how to serve the devotees and give them a wonderful experience in Krishna consciousness. And this Vrindavan in his office also, he spent many hours chanting and being absorbed and taking devotees and prasadam and his own personal needs have always been a very, very like a no priority for him, at least. That's what we have seen over the years. It has Radha Prabhu and now Pranavanand Prabhu have been cooking, but then Gurudev have never asked for anything that you should make this for me or you should make. So his idea is whatever is best for me, what is good for my health, just make that and serve me. Otherwise, it's natural for any person. If you have someone who can cook for you, we are ready. Okay, today we should make this. Tomorrow you should make this. Like some devotee even in America asked Gurudev, Maharaj, what would you like to have for the next meal? Maharaj said, I don't think about these things. And in Eco Village also, it is very difficult for him to find where he is in the morning hours to serve some little whatever little milk he would have or something, whatever he would have for the breakfast. So he'll be wherever he is, you have to look for him in Vrindavan, forest, or sometime in Goshala, and sometimes on the road, and sometimes on the construction sites. So that's where he has had his prasadam in every corner of the Govardhan Eco village. So our task will be, the devotees would be searching where is Gurudev, reach there and give him something or medicine or whatever. See, he's not thinking about himself. When he's focused about doing something, he's just completely focused in his bhajan, in his service to Vrindavan, to Srila Prabhupada and the devotees. So that is his life is all about is service at all times. One time when we were coming back from a program in Radha Gopinath Mandir, Maharaj asked me, so Braj Chandra Prabhu, what is your realizations? I was not sure what to say. So I said, Maharaj, I don't know, but seeing your life, I can see that it's all, it's like you're all living every moment for others, and in spite of not taking care of your health even, and just you're spending all your time for serving others and giving for others. So Maharaj said, yes, this is my desire and this is my heart, but somehow my body does not support. I want to do much more and meet all the devotees, visit all the places, but somehow my body is not supporting. So this is what I can do, what I can do. So I was saying, Maharaj, with your age, what you're doing is absolutely not even a young person, because we have seen the schedules. And even materially speaking, we should not see the spiritual masters' activities materially at all. We cannot see because we don't know what the consciousness is. But even if somebody just materially analyze, doesn't have a spiritual vision at all, still if you see just the activities what Guru Maharaj has in a day is very difficult, humanly possible for a young man also. And Gurudev, with all his health and poor health and whatever tapasyas which he has done in the past, has taken a toll. The body does take, and having so many disciples and the karma and everything, it does take a toll on the physical level. But still, he's been, the amount of services and amount of absorption and about the bhajan he has is something really, really absolutely unbelievable. One time we were in the car with some devotee, I forgot who was there, and somebody was asking, they were asking Maharaj, when is your birthday? And they were telling Maharaj, your 69th birthday is coming. So I was saying, yes, Maharaj, in India we call it like 69th running. I don't know, in Hindi they say, 69th running, Maharaj. So I said, Maharaj, 69th running now, after 69th, like that. So Maharaj said, when you are 69, you do not run with Prabhu. He was just making a fun that when you are 69, Prabhu, you do not run. That's what he was making the point. So with his old body, even materially speaking, he has been extending himself to serve Srila Prabhupada's mission and to serve all the devotees. Hare Krishna. Thank you,
Prabhuji, can you
Paramahananda
tell
Prabhu.
that story of devotees walking on the loft of Radha Gopinath, and Guru Maharaj was telling about his austerities and his services in New Vrindavan, and then you told this beautiful story of how Hare Krishna Prabhu asked Guru Maharaj that why didn't you say no
Yes.
to the services? Can you tell that story, Prabhuji? It would be very inspiring.
Yes, I will speak this story, but you also have to share some of the Vrindavan parikramas with the devotees and share some of the pictures from the
Yes,
Vrindavan
Prabhuji, after
parikrama.
this.
After this, okay, so you can prepare the pictures which you want to show from the parikramas and share some experience of parikrama which Maharaj is giving to the different devotees. Yes, this is there every Gaur Purnima or Sharad Purnima days. Maharaj would go to the terrace of Radha Gopinath where Tulsi Maharani is there, and the terrace he would go and gaze at the moon and pray, and he would share his realizations. So one time I was fortunate to be there in the group. Four of us were there. Radha Vallabh Prabhu was there, Prem Kishore Prabhu, Hare Krishna Prabhu, myself, and Maharaj was just walking on the terrace with the devotees, these four of us. And many devotees were sleeping on the terrace also, because in Radha Gopinath ashram, many devotees sleep in the temple hall and some sleep on the terrace also. So many were sleeping, and we were just passing across these mosquito nets, and Maharaj was seeing the moon, and he did mention in the next class about his moon and how the same moon which is there now was seeing witnessing the Rasa Leela. So he was in that mood. And then Maharaj was explaining about uh, Maharaj, of course, did mention that these festivals are an opportunity for us to analyze and see how much progress we have made every year. Like one Sharad Purnima to next Sharad Purnima, one Gaur Purnima to next Gaur Purnima. So devotees should be very analyzing whether I have made progress on the right path or not. So he was mentioning that. And then he was talking about his New Vrindavan stories. Many of us, which we have heard these stories, but I'll just speak what he was sharing that day to us, a few of us who were there. And I was explaining how it was quite intense. The schedules which Gurudev had, almost a couple of hours of sleep, that too also between different offerings. He would have to cook in a kitchen in New Vrindavan, which was on wood fire, and wood would be almost wet most of the time, so it would be very smoke. And there were many big rats in the kitchen. So whenever they would go, His Holiness Chandramudi Swami Maharaj and himself, they would go. As soon as they would switch on the light, the rats would jump. So first thing that they decided they would do is they would have a stone and they would throw that stone on the wall so that the rats just run away. And then they would switch on the lights. And any bhoga which is kept there, if it is simply covered with a lid, the rats would just throw that away and spoil that bhoga. So they had to cover it up with stone. If you forget to cover it, there's no bhoga for the offering in the mornings. So that was the situation of the kitchen in New Vrindavan. And of course, winters and taking bath and all those things, we have heard many stories of that, on breaking the ice water and taking bath with that. So with that, Maharaj was worshipping the deities and cooking. And so one of the Sharad Purnima, where the program was happening downstairs, and Maharaj was service in the up. So then after the Sharad Purnima festival in the evening, so they requested Maharaj that you should sing for the pleasure of the deities in the night. And Jai Radhe, Jai Krishna, and different bhajans. Maharaj was having his mridangam and he was playing. And that time Maharaj was mentioning that custom was that there would be a curtain, so the door will not be closed. In the altar door would not be closed on Sharad Purnima, because there will be a lot of bhoga and there will be a lot of decorations. So there will be only a curtain which would be covering, and Maharaj would just sitting outside. And there was a known thing there, that anyone who sees, because Krishna is performing his Rasa Leela in the altar there, so anyone who sees that will go blind or die, something like that. There was some conception there that time. So nobody can go in the night time, and nobody can see in that direction. And so Maharaj was given that charge that you have to sing the whole night for the pleasure till the time the devotees come for Mangalarti, and also make sure that none of the bhoga is spoiled by the rats. So I was mentioning this was a great challenge. And I was thinking, Radha and Krishna are doing the Rasa Leela. So how can I just disturb? And I can't see or go inside the altar. So he kept a broom with him just next to him where he was playing the mridangam. And so Maharaj was singing Jai Radhe, Jai Krishna. So Maharaj was just doing it and showing us. And then he would hear some noise of some rat moving. So he would take a broom and beat it on the ground and make a sound and drive away the rat. So Maharaj was saying, but I had to do it in a way that I do not disturb the rhythm. So with very focus, I had to constantly keep on playing the rhythm. With one hand, hit the broom on the floor and drive away the rat. So that was the whole night. It went on like this. And after the devotees came in the morning, then Maharaj went and did worship in the upstairs in the hill. And then they asked him that you have to give the Bhagavatam class. So Maharaj was saying, wow. So that was already not slept, did the Mangalarti upstairs, did puja, and then comes down and gives the Bhagavatam class. And then there were many challenging questions were also being asked in the class. Many question answers were happening. So that's very intense schedules they would have, and very, very meager prasadam, whatever would be there for the devotees in New Vrindavan. And so many austerities devotees had to do there. And at one point, Maharaj was not even allowed to meet the other devotees, because they knew that he is a Vrindavan Bhakta. If he tells about Vrindavan, all the devotees would want to go to Vrindavan. So he is not allowed to go to, not to speak about all these devotees to Vrindavan. So he was staying upstairs on a hill, and the other devotees are there down, so that if he speaks about Vrindavan, everyone would get attracted to Vrindavan and they would go. And Maharaj, of course, was mentioning the other time to Gauranga Prabhu, when the topic of Madan Mohan big temple came, that after he left Vrindavan, and I think Radha Dasi, that Australian Mataji, was there in Vrindavan as Asim Krishna Prabhu that time. He gave him Brajarotis and good, and they gave a map of Vrindavan, different holy places to drawings. And so he would say that whatever time he would get middle of the offerings or before the lunch prasadam, he would just take a manasik tour of all the places of Vrindavan, like getting up in the morning from Chir Ghat, taking bath and taking darshan of Madan Mohan, the big temple from there, and going to Radha Vallabh, Radha Raman. So mentally he would do parikrama. Did for years he did, because Maharaj had that fear. He was not sure when he'll be go back to Vrindavan, because his authorities had asked him, this is your service, this is the place you cannot, they drew a line, the authorities there, that you cannot cross beyond. So like a Lakshman Rekha, this is your boundary. So he was not sure, Maharaj mentioned that he was not sure whether he'll be allowed to go to India anytime or he'll be able to go. He said, but I did not want to forget Vrindavan. So every day before Prasad, for 20 to 30 minutes, he would do a Manasik Parikrama of Vrindavan. This is when he was 25, 26 years old, whatever that same year. So he would do a Manasik Parikrama of Vrindavan. And so that he does not forget these holy people and the holy experience of Vrindavan and these different roads and different places in Vrindavan. He did that for many, many, many years. Of course, Maharaj is mentioning about many other austerities, which all of them, the devotees at that time in New Vrindavan, had to do it. And then Hare Krishna Prabhu was also there with me. So he asked Maharaj, can I ask a question? I said, yes. Maharaj said, how did you all do it? Why did you not say no? Simple. Now somebody tells you this and they feel that the authority is saying that this is too much. You can already say no. Maharaj said that thought never came to us. This is Prabhupada wants us. They're Prabhupada's representative. Prabhupada is speaking to us. And this is what will please Prabhupada, and we did it. And so there was no question of. So that was the surrender, level of surrender Maharaj had for his authorities there. And then, of course, Maharaj mentioned, concluded, he said, at that night I experienced Rati. And he was like, Maharaj was very emphatically saying Rati. So we thought, I don't know what that is, Rati, or like the stage of devotion. So Maharaj said, Rati means ratty, rat-y. So I was thinking about the rat and singing Jai Radha Madhav. So I said, experience Rati all throughout the night, ratty. So like that, he just laughed over the whole thing. But that's what his schedule and austerities which he had to do during this time. And it's usually the tendency, if somebody goes through such intense schedule, when he becomes the leader, okay, so he also imposes those, okay, I was like this when I was there, when I was the student, then I was like this only, so you should be doing like this. And but he never expected from any of his leaders, any of his devotees whom he was training, whom he raised, he made sure they get all the wonderful facilities, all the wonderful prasadam. Everything was arranged and planned, and that space to serve was given by Guru Maharaj. That was his great kindness of his heart and his love and compassion for all.